of Coach's Corner is to be informative and to also be educational during this, couple minutes that we have with all of our competitors. We have guest speakers along the way. Sometimes I just chat with open dialogue with competitors. Sometimes we have Tanya on as well as our another one of my assistants. So there's a lot of different things that we do. Today we are honored to have our speaker, Kristen Ray. She is our owner of Sassy Classy Suits. She has been with TwinFitness competing in the background for probably 3 years now. However, she's been fitting girls and doing all of our design work on our suits for 2 years now. So she's also our stage prep coach and our posing coach. She has got top honors at shows, from the way she poses and presents herself to the way her suits fit her. So she's got a knack and an eye for suits. Girls look good, certain suits, suit colors. So she's going to go over with all of you guys a lot of different information. I think you will find it very useful. She's dear to my heart. I think she's beautiful inside and out, all the way around. And I'm very, very happy that she is part of our TwinFitness team, part of our stage prep that she does for us every week as a posing class, virtual and in studio, and then she preps the girls for stage as well. So, Ray, I will hand it over to you, and I will let you introduce yourself even more in depthly because you have a long resume of wonderful things.
Absolutely. Okay. So, thank you, Christy. I am Kristen Ray Wire. I actually have been working with TwinFitness for a while. I've been competing and then fitting girls for suits. As I've been working with TwinFitness and fitting girls for suits, there was this need that developed. One of the issues that I was running into with girls fitting into our suits is that the cuts sometimes were not fitting them correctly. A lot of times the suits were not fitting the glutes correctly or fitting the top correctly. And so there was this need that developed over some time that we really needed to have our own cut of suit, kind of the TwinFitness sort of look. So being a seamstress and having sewn for 10, 15 years and learning from my mom who used to teach sewing classes, I kind of started whipping up some suits, coming up with some prototypes and designs. And from that birthed Sassy Classy Suits. Sassy Classy Suits really started because there was this need to kind of break some of the molds that we were seeing on stage. Unfortunately, we were seeing a lot of suits that looked not so classy, or maybe even the word would be somewhat trashy. And so we were like, well, you know what? We really want a classy look. We also want it to look very sassy. So that's where Sassy Classy was developed. We want really a sassy look on stage, and we want it to be very classic. So we don't necessarily push the limits when it comes to certain colors or stones or connectors. We really try to go for that classic look, the look that judges have consistently chosen for top 5 over other girls, and we really analyzed those and looked at those suits and tried to come up with the look that is very classically an NPC IFBB Pro look. The first thing is the cut. So with a cut on a suit, that is really what makes the suit. The cut of a suit is kind of the make or break. So a lot of girls will look at suits and go, oh, wow, it has so much bling on it, or it's so beautiful, or the color is so cool, or I love those connectors. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter how much bling is on it or how cool those connectors look. If the cut is not right for your body, it's not a good suit. So with Sassy Classy, what we did was we started to look at dimensions and ratios of angles of your body. So the ratio of your hip bones to, the pinnacle between your legs, and the ratio of your hip bones up to your waist, and the distance between your belly button to where we would measure your abdomen. So we started looking at those measurements and those ratios and tried to kind of come up with a formula, so to speak, that creates the perfect look on a bikini competitor. Everybody's body is different. Not all of us have the same dimensions for the front side of our, where a bikini would lie. Or we don't have the same dimensions on our glutes, and we don't have the same dimensions on our bra side. So we had to kind of come up with a formula or algorithm that we could use to create the perfect looking suit. So when we designed Sassy Classy Suits, we looked at what are all the different measurements we can take to create the perfect look. And we ended up coming up with over 13 different measurements on a person's body that help create the perfect cut and perfect look. So those measurements range from the circumference around your belly button, your abdomen circumference, your hip circumference, the distance from the apex of one breast to the apex of the other around the neck, your bra size, obviously, your back length. So we're looking at all these different measurements to come up with really this beautiful look. The other thing about the cut is that the cut should highlight the curves of your body. So we don't want harsh lines. We want very soft, smooth lines on a bikini competitor. A lot of times I will see edging on suits. So that's just a small edge along all along the edge of the suit. And a lot of times I will see a very almost triangle cut top. Unfortunately, that is not the best look for a bikini competitor because a triangle has very sharp points and very hard lines, and it doesn't accentuate the curves of a woman's natural bust line. So what I did with the top of a bikini, I'll show you here, is created a cut that actually is not triangular, but runs down in a curve along the bust line. And same thing over here. You'll see it has a little bit of a scallop. And that way we get nice coverage, but we also get a very nice curve. So there aren't any harsh lines that cut across the breast. Instead, they curve up nicely and really accentuate the bust line of a woman. That was one thing that really kind of was a motivator for me in terms of creating the right bust line. On the bottom of a bikini, we're also looking for the bottom to fit perfectly between the hip bones and the legs. So you'll see here that there's pretty sufficient coverage on the bikini on the front part. And the back, we have a cut that is a little different than what you would see if you were to buy a bikini off the rack. So the cut of our Sassy Classy Suits, the first point is that we look at the distance between your gluteal crest or the cleft right up in here. And we want to make sure that this sits right above basically your crack. So we want this sitting right there. And the reason being is that when you have it pretty low, it lengthens your back and it makes you look nice and long and lean. It also makes your waist look smaller. So we have a pretty low dip here, and then the sides up here cover all the way up so that when this sits high, the connector on the front side can fit right over your hip bone. The other thing is that we like to make sure that the connector is pretty far out on the side. We don't want the connector hitting you too far in. So I don't want the connector sitting here. The reason being is it just creates a nice, pretty harsh line right there. So I like them to sit over here and drape so that you don't see much of the connector when you're in your back pose. Really, the connector should be visible from the side and from your front pose. So you'll see here also that with this cut, it doesn't flare out and cover her glute very much. The reason that we do this is that with this nice curve here, again, it creates a very soft, smooth line, but it also allows her glutes to look higher. It makes them look like she has a really high glute and then a really round glute down here. So any different cut, sometimes we'll see like a butterfly cut or something with a little more coverage. Unfortunately, that can make your glutes look flat and deflated. So with a cut like this, we're actually accentuating the glutes. We're making your butt look nice and round, and we're making your back and everything from the backside look perfectly proportionate and very feminine. So when the glutes sit up over the high part right here. It really lifts the butt and it makes it look round instead of long, which is so important when you're on stage. So when you are looking for a suit, you want to make sure that the cut of the suit fits your butt. That is the most important thing. If it doesn't fit your glutes, it's not the right suit for you. It doesn't matter if the connectors are cool. It doesn't matter if the bling is just over the top. If the cut is not right, then it's the wrong suit for you. So the thing about a suit also is that we're trying to create an illusion on your body. We're trying to highlight your best assets, and we're trying to hide the flaws. Everybody has flaws, and in fact, IFBB pros also have flaws. It's just that they have the expertise and the knowledge and the know-how to hide those on stage, and they can do that also with a suit. So we're trying with a suit to create a higher, firmer, tighter glute on you. We're also trying to make you look curvy and feminine and lean and very athletic. So it's important that we get those suits to fit you perfectly. No suit by Sassy Classy is made the same. Every suit is made specifically for the person that is wearing it. So it's important that when you're buying a suit that you find a suit that is made specifically for you and not just a one-size-fits-all or a small, medium, or large sort of cut. Okay, so let's talk about the size on the top. A lot of girls think that, oh, I'm a size, A cup, so I can't buy a C top. Actually, most girls, most competitors want to have full coverage C top on the bikini. And here's why. If you're larger than a C cup, you want to make your bust look a little smaller so that we can match the lean athletic build of your body. If you're smaller than a C cup, then we want to build you up a little bit with some stuffing and padding to match the curves of your body. So with that said, even though the bottoms are cut very specifically for your glutes, the top will be cut really to cover more of a C cup. And the reason is that we want that size on stage. It just looks the best on stage. So if you're a size A, still order a C. If you're a size double D, then still order a C. Because what we want to do is we want to make that look and we want to create the illusion that everything on your body matches. Here she's wearing kind of a C size. It's stuffed out to the max, and that's one of our tricks. We really stuff those things as much as we can with padding and pillow stuffing. You can see here that from this angle, you can't tell that she's been stuffed. If you were to look from the top down, you can see, oh, wow, she has been stuffed a lot. So fortunately, from the way a judge is looking, they're never going to see the top part of you, so you can stuff those things as much as you need to. It cuts in nice here along the bust line, so you don't really have to worry about overstuffing yourself. If you're a D or a double D or even larger than that, then obviously you would remove the stuffing and just use the suit as it is. So if you're much larger than a D, then we would actually want to make sure that you have enough coverage to make sure that you're not falling out. So we would extend or make the suit top a little bigger. And obviously everybody's bust line is different. So the suit, the top is always cut according to your body. But in terms of the cup size, it is going to be a size that is about a C size. So
I apologize, I'm having some technical difficulties, but something with the tops that I think I'm a D cup size myself, and so I do order C's, like Carrie was saying, because also girls, even if you have implants or if you're just larger chested or both, you will shrink. Your chest is basically your breast or body fat, so you lose body fat, so they're going to shrink even if you have implants or not. So there's a big disconnect there for girls. So I think a C advice is really good advice from K-Ray. I love the way her tops fit and how she's cupped them to fit our chest. I think that's, like she pointed out, she has some curvature and they're just not triangle tops. So I think that's really important to remember on your sizing. And if you try on a triangle top and then try on like someone like what K-Ray's done, you can see a huge difference difference in the quality of the fit. So I think that's really important as well. If you are heavy chested, we might want to like de-emphasize those a little bit and bring your chest down. So we have tricks to do that as well. And then if you don't have, if you're like an A cup or a B cup, we'll fill you up with that padding, like Kay-Ray said. No worries there. You'll have plenty of, you'll look like you'll have plenty of chest by the time you step on stage. So.
Absolutely. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to move on to color. So here I have a few fabric swatches, and you can see that they are dual colors. So I have blue. This is the true royal blue. Green. This is more of a Kelly green with, it's basically a hologram green that's on top of a black fabric. So it makes it look a little deeper and darker. There are other fabrics like this that are a hologram Kelly green on top of a Kelly green fabric, which makes it more of a brighter green. And then same thing with a red. So this is a deeper red. It's a red hologram on top of a black fabric. Again, you can do a red hologram on top of a red. So these are great colors to stick with. A lot of times I will get questions from girls about an orange suit or a yellow suit or a pink suit or even a black suit. So those colors are very tricky on stage. And here's why. When you're on stage, you are under yellow lighting. So the yellow lighting often washes competitors out and changes the color of the suit. You also have to remember that when you're getting spray tanned backstage, they're spray tanning you in your suit. So you want to avoid lighter colors like pinks or corals, oranges or yellows, because what happens is that suit will absorb some of that spray tan and the color will change. Unfortunately, that color, when you get it on stage, doesn't look good. The only time I would put somebody in a pink suit or a bright coral suit is if they have incredibly dark skin, if they are ethnic, if they have like super, super dark skin, African American, American Indian, anybody that is really, really dark, I would put them in a suit color like that. But generally, I'm going to stick to a color that is red, blue, green, even like a purple, I would put somebody in. So black is also a tricky color. I will not put most people in black, although a lot of people do want a black suit. Black's tricky. It really only works on certain people, and so you do need to make sure that you consult with the suit designer before you choose to wear a black suit. White also is very tricky. Again, you need to remember that you're under yellow lights and that you're also getting spray tanned, and so you have to be so careful when you're backstage with your spray tan wearing a white suit, because that spray tan on the edges rubs off, and it can kind of look messy and dirty at the end of the day. So you want to avoid white, you want to avoid black, orange, yellow, even like a baby blue, light blue color you would want to avoid as well. Those just don't necessarily look great on stage. So Christy, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So suit color is a big one for us at TwinFitness. Like Carrie pointed out, we go with the jewel tones, girls. And I know that to some girls, they're like, yeah, but I'm dead set on white, or I'm dead set on, coral or pink. Like, I mean, my business is colors are pink. So I love pink. And if I could step on stage in a pink suit, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But I know my limits. Even as an IFBB pro, we can do a lot of things that amateurs, that they advise amateurs against. So if you guys are out there looking at videos of pros or in different things like that, don't think that just because they have on a white suit that you can go and step on stage in a white suit. And I always advise girls, for your first show or first couple shows, go with bright colors, go with a safe color like blues, some purples. A lot of girls don't look that great in purples, just a word of warning there. Reds are great, greens are great, teals are great, but we want them bright and we want them vibrant. We want you to stand out on stage, and we want you to look phenomenal on stage. So there's certain colors, especially if you have like blonde hair like myself, or if you have dark hair, there's certain colors we're going to advise you, to go for and then advise you against. So trust us when it comes to suit selection. We've been around the industry forever. K-Ray has a knack for seeing girls and what they look good in. So really trust your coach and who you hire to make sure they are going to put you on stage looking your very best.
All right, I'm going to move on to connectors. So here on Ivanka, our model, she's wearing a swag connector. This is a 6.5-inch swag connector. Unfortunately, on Ivanka, since she's very hippie, I would not necessarily put a swag connector on her because what swag connectors do is they will accentuate your hips or make your hips look larger. This is a shorter swag connector, but I will show you an example of a longer swag connector. So this is a different swag. So if I were to put this on her, you would see that it hangs a little bit lower. Swag connectors like these are great on girls who do not have hips. So if they have a thicker tummy and maybe narrower hips, then I would put them in a swag connector like this because it's going to make their waist look very narrow. And it's going to make their hips actually kind of pop and match their shoulders. So again, we're trying to create illusions on stage. I want an hourglass silhouette. And so we do the illusion sort of thing by picking the right connectors on your body type. All right, so if you're somebody like me with hips, I would actually put you in a smaller connector. So smaller connectors would be something like this. This is a 6-inch narrow connector. I would also put somebody with hips in a ladder connector like this. This is beautiful. I love these on stage. In fact, I see a lot of IFBB pros wearing ladder connectors. Or even just a very plain Jane narrow connector like this. I would put somebody with hips on, I would put this on somebody with hips. So, love connectors. They're so blingy and they're so much fun. Make sure you're not picking a suit based on the connector. Pick a suit based on the cut. And then the connector. Okay, the last thing that I want to go over with connectors is that connectors are supposed to be worn up over the hip bone. So a lot of times on stage, I will see ladies wearing their suits pretty low, right over the low part of their abdomen. Unfortunately, that's not the right way to wear a suit. If you wear it low like this, you create kind of these weird dimensions on your body. When you wear it high, you create a really nice narrow waist. So do you see the difference, how that actually made her waist look narrower and her legs look longer? When she wears it low, it almost looks like she's kind of sagging, and it makes her legs and her groin area look wide, and it doesn't accentuate her waist too well. So we like to wear these nice and high up on our hips. The top connector, especially on these swag connectors, will sit on that hip bone. So your hip bone's pretty high up there next to your belly button. So it's going to sit right over there, and then it's going to fall back over your glute this way.
I see that's one of the mistakes that girls make, and I know that you feel like it's the 80s style, with your swimsuit really, really high, back when we all did that. But we're telling you on stage, it's a huge difference. And again, we're creating that illusion of small waist, round hips. So we need all we can get out of those small waist and round hips, girls. So pulling those suits up right above that hip bone is key to making that illusion on stage. So just remember that. And again, when we go to yanking your guys' suits up backstage, telling you to put them above your hip bone, trust us, we are doing it for a reason, because you look better that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to move on to bling and then the care of suits and the quality of our suits with Sassy Classy. So for the jewels on the suit, you want to make sure that you're in a scatter pattern or sort of a matrix pattern. With bikini suits, you do not want any intense designs, and you don't want really any harsh lines or crazy curves or swirls or anything like that. You really want it to be a pretty true grid matrix or scatter. So on Ivanka here, this is basically just a grid matrix. They're positioned pretty evenly across the suit. This is great on stage. It's just blingy is what it looks like. There's no crazy pattern. There aren't any crazy different colors. So that's really what you're looking to do on a suit. A lot of times you'll see on Instagram these awesome suits that have like crazy colors and bling at the wazoo. And those are so fun to look at on Instagram, but that's not necessarily something you would put on stage. These crystals are AB crystals, which means they have a coating on them that makes them pop and pick up the light a little more. So it's fun to look at. They're very blingy and bright, and that's really what you want on stage. You can have a mixture of AB crystals and clear crystals. Clear crystals are really just the true color crystal. It will absorb more of the light than it will reflect it. And so when it absorbs, it actually will show the color of the stone more than just the light. So here, you can't really tell that they're green AB crystals. You're just seeing light popping. If I had a clear crystal on here, then you would see more of that green color. So that's kind of the standard bling. Bling is not important when you're on stage. It's fun, and it's nice to have a really blingy suit when you're on stage, but the judges are not looking at that. They're looking at how your body looks on stage and the illusions that you're creating with the cut. So bling is the last thing on the list when you're looking at a suit. Keep that in mind. The care of the suits, if you're washing a suit, you need to be very careful because they're using a special glue to hold the jewels on, and these connectors are not meant to be washed. So a couple things you can do after you wear a suit is wrap your connectors in tinfoil before you put it in to soak. So you can do that, or you can just wash the suit gently without getting the connectors wet. So the other thing you can do is use baking soda when you're washing the suit, and it actually will bubble a little bit and clean the connectors really well, and then you can get them wet. That's fine. You need to be careful with connectors because if you allow them to sit wet too long, the process that they put these connectors through will make the metal turn white. So be very careful. As soon as you wash the suit, you need to blow dry with a cool blow dryer. Blow dry those connectors, make sure that they get dry as fast as possible. When you're washing the suit, you can use Dreft baby detergent. Do not use Woolite because it breaks down the elastic. Or you can use a hand soap, a very gentle hand soap, to wash the suit. You'll want to wash it in basically room temperature water, soak it for about 10 minutes, and then pull it out and let it air dry. So dry those connectors and then let the rest of the suit air dry. So the quality and fabric of the suit. So with Sassy Classy, we pick quality fabrics and we line our suits in black. When you're wearing your suits and you wear it multiple times, you'll start to see that you're getting suit stains from the glue and from the spray tan. What we realized over time was why are these suits lined in a nude color? Let's line them in black so that you don't see that. So they're all lined in a 4-way stretch black so that they last forever. You can wear these suits over and over and over again, and trust me, judges don't mind seeing you in the same suit. Everything is sewn with a premium elastic. The folds and lines on it and seams are basically double stitched. So you won't ever find your suit falling apart. Everything is done with the most extreme attention to detail, making sure that everything is tucked and folded where it needs to be. That's one of the key important things here is that we really want that suit to be quality. If you're paying a lot for the suit, you should have a quality suit. The reason the suits are so expensive is because the jewels take a good amount of time to put on. A lot of times girls will want to buy just the suit without the jewels on it and bling it out themselves, and I would advise against that. The reason is that somebody who jewels on a regular basis has the technique in her hand to pop on those jewels pretty quickly and not allow any additional glue to smear on the outside of the fabric. Also, somebody that jewels consistently and knows how to do it has all of the tools. If you were to jewel and buy all the tools yourself, it actually would end up running you more money than it would for you to pay somebody else to jewel it. The reason is that somebody that has the ability to jewel usually has a business license, like myself, and so I can order jewels at a warehouse pricing. Besides, the fact that I have access to that, it's a little bit cheaper for me to do it than it would be for, say, your just standard run-of-the-mill competitor buying jewels on a website. So keep that in mind. As much as you're like, oh, I want this to be a fun project and I want to do it, it's actually going to run you more money to do it yourself. And you also, there's a learning curve when it comes to jeweling suits. It takes a long time to learn how to do it and to learn how to space the jewels. So that's very important. Try your best not to jewel a suit. If you are going to do it, then you're going to need to buy probably 2 to 3 times as many jewels as you would actually use so that you can practice. This suit here has about 1,500 jewels on it, And most suits that I make tend to have between 1,500 and 2,000 stones. So it can run you a pretty penny if you're buying from a website or if you're just buying as a consumer. So just keep that in mind as well.
I do want to touch on girls wanting to bling out their own suits, K-Ray.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of girls that do want to do that or think it's a good idea or they have a knack for it. And I mean, I don't even have a knack for it. I've been at this for many years. I wouldn't even try, even attempt to do my own suit because I know I don't have the time or the patience to put on 2,000 stones on one suit. I mean, right there is overwhelming to me. So I really highly encourage if you do want to own your own suit and buy your own suit, really get one and invest in one that you're going to be able to wear for multiple shows all year round. Like K-Ray said, judges love to see you in the same suit because you get recognized. And if you invest in a suit that is quality and not necessarily just a cheaper one, you will be able to wear it for multiple shows. I wore my pro suit for, I think, I did 14 shows in 1 year to get my pro card. And I wore the same suit at every show. And the judges said that that's how they recognized me because my sister and I were always competed together. We were twins. So I was the blue twin and my sister was the green twin. So I'm just using that as an example that I wore the same suit, invested a lot of money into it, and loved it the whole time. So don't think that you have to have, us girls think that we have to have a new pair of shoes for every outing that we go to. You don't have to have a new suit for every show you do. I'm here to tell you if you have a suit that fits, wear it until it falls apart. It would be my advice to you.
Absolutely. Well, and if you're spending as much as you're spending on a suit, absolutely wear that suit until it just falls apart because, it's expensive and you're not necessarily just paying for the material and the stones. The stones are the most expensive part of the suit. You're also paying for the expertise on somebody looking at your body and recognizing what will look good on you, what hides your flaws, and what accentuates your assets. So you're paying for the expertise as well. Not everybody can make suits, and there are even suit designers out there that have been making suits for years now and still don't have down, still don't have the eye for it, still don't recognize what is needed to make a suit. I think what makes Sassy Classy different is that with my experience fitting girls and other people's suits and recognizing the issues that we run into, I've learned so much. A lot of suit designers don't necessarily have the opportunity to fit a suit to a girl. They will just often make the suit. So with the experience of fitting other people's suits, that's what has given me kind of a different edge, I think. There were two questions that I wanted to cover. The first question is, for TwinFitness competitors, we have suits that are available to rent. And one of the questions was, if we're renting a suit, how are you going to fit us accordingly? So usually what we'll do if we can is we'll have you come into the studio and we'll do a suit fitting session where we will have you try on different suits to see what fits your glutes perfectly. Most of our suits are very safe jewel tone colors, so we, don't necessarily worry about color there because they're all pretty good colors. And then, so we'll fit the suit to your glutes, and then we will make sure that those connectors fit your body type as well. In terms of color, color is the last thing on the list when it comes to making sure that a suit is right for your body. Since we have the correct color, so to speak, at TwinFitness, we don't necessarily worry about color. We really just worry about how it's fitting your body and the perfect silhouette, what's being accentuated and what is being hidden by the suit. So
K-Ray is extremely educated. She's done her research. Her seamstress work is mind-blowing and amazing to me. Like I said, I've been around the industry since I was 23 and I'm now 42. So this is some of the best quality suits I've ever seen. So that's why we're excited to have her as part of our team and part of our staff. If you do want your own suit, it is an additional cost. It is not included in our team fee at TwinFitness, but K-Ray would be more than happy to fit you to your own personal suit. If you don't want to spend the extra money right now, remember it is included in your team fee suit rental, and we have plenty of suits that will fit your body type. We have small ones, we have medium ones, we have bigger ones to fit all different body types from your glutes to your bra size. So don't worry about that. I think that with all of this, hopefully it was informative. Hopefully it was educational to you girls. If you have questions or concerns, don't hesitate to email me at twinfitness.com. That's our website. You can contact me through there. And you can go there and research even more information on what we do and how we do things And we do take a different approach with a lot of different training styles that we do. Our small army of fabulous females that we've assembled through the years on our staff will help you get you stage ready no matter what fitness level you currently are at.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christy.
Thank you, girls. Have a great day.
Bye.